Fade in. A vast, silent desert at twilight, reminiscent of a Dali painting. The sand is a deep crimson. A lone, cracked pocket watch hangs from a dead, skeletal tree, its hands spinning backward at an impossible speed. The narrator's voice is calm, deep, and measured, with a hypnotic quality. Narrator. Have you ever felt it? A subtle but persistent ache of incompleteness. Not loneliness, precisely. You can be in a crowded room, laughing with friends, succeeding in your career, and yet, there is a silent partner to your soul who is conspicuously absent. A phantom limb of the psyche. It manifests in strange ways. Perhaps it is the gnawing self-doubt that whispers sabotage into your most ambitious plans. Or the opposite, a brittle, defensive arrogance that keeps the world at a safe, sterile distance. It is the engine behind your procrastination, the ghost that haunts your fear of commitment, the architect of your self-destruction. We shall call this phenomenon the haunting of the inner counterpart. It is the sense that you are living as only half of a whole. And you have been searching for your other half your entire life, but you have been looking in all the wrong places. You have been looking in the faces of lovers, in the applause of the crowd, in the accumulation of things. Stay with me through this session. And I promise you, by the time the clock on the screen melts into the sand, you will not only understand who this mysterious inner figure is, you will have been given the key to finally meet them. And in doing so, to become whole. The camera slowly pans across the surreal landscape. In the distance, a figure, silhouetted against a purple and orange sky, stands motionless. It is impossible to tell if it is a man or woman. The scene shifts. We are now inside a grand, Magritte-inspired library. Books float in midair, staircases lead nowhere, and through a large, arched window, we see not a landscape, but a swirling cosmos. The narrator is unseen, his voice our only guide. Narrator. This haunting, let us speak of it directly. You feel it most acutely in your relationships. Have you ever noticed the pattern? You, a person of profound logic and order, find yourself irresistibly drawn to partners who are whirlwinds of chaos and untamed emotion. You promise yourself, never again, yet the magnetic pull is absolute. It feels like destiny, a fated collision. For a time, it is intoxicating. They are the color in your monochrome world. They are the music in your silent halls. Or perhaps you are the artist, the dreamer, the one who lives by intuition and feeling. And you find yourself, time and time again, tangled with people who are relentlessly practical, grounded, sometimes even coldly critical. They seem to offer the anchor you desperately need in the stormy seas of your own heart. They are the logic to your myth, the structure to your symphony. In the beginning, it feels like completion. You think, finally. Someone who has what I lack. You project onto them a golden aura of perfection. They are the savior, the muse, the one who will make you whole. You fall in love not with a person, but with a missing piece of yourself. But the gold soon tarnishes. The chaotic lover becomes exhausting, their drama a prison. The stable provider becomes a bore, their pragmatism a cage for your spirit. And the disillusionment is crushing. You are left asking, why does this always happen to me? Why do I always choose the wrong person? This is where we must agitate the pain, just for a moment, to see the truth beneath the wound. The hidden cost of this pattern is not a string of failed relationships. That is merely the symptom. The true cost is a life lived in exile from your own soul. Because that quality you are so desperately seeking in another, that wild passion, that unshakable stability, that keen intellect, that deep-hued intuition, is not their magic to give you. It is a dormant, undeveloped, and powerful part of your own being. By constantly outsourcing it, by projecting it onto the screen of another person, you are refusing to cultivate it within yourself. You are condemning a vital part of your own spirit to remain a ghost, a haunting. And so you remain a house divided, a kingdom at war with itself, living at a fraction of your potential. You are searching for a key, not realizing it has been in your pocket all along. The scene dissolves. We are now in a dimly lit alchemical laboratory. Glass beakers filled with luminous liquids bubble softly. Astrological charts and ancient diagrams cover the walls. A single, perfectly formed human skull rests on a velvet cushion. Narrator. To understand the solution, we must turn to the great cartographer of the soul, Carl Jung. He gave a name to this inner counterpart, this ghost in our machine. For a man, this inner feminine figure is his anima. For a woman, this inner masculine figure is her animus. This is the core of our exploration. The anima and animus are not mere fantasies. They are living, autonomous archetypes within the psyche. They are the unconscious, contra-sexual portion of our soul, shaped first by the primary parent of the opposite sex, your mother or your father, and then colored by the vast, ancient, collective experience of what it means to be man or woman. Think of it this way. A man, in his conscious life, typically develops his masculine qualities, logic, assertiveness, structure, what Jung called the logos. But his feminine side, his emotionality, his intuition, his creativity, his capacity for relatedness, his eros, is often left in the shadows of the unconscious. This shadowy part constellates into a figure, the anima. Conversely, a woman traditionally cultivates her feminine side, her eros. Her unconscious masculine side, her logic, her opinion, her assertiveness, her spiritual questing, her logos, coalesces into the animus. Now, these concepts can seem abstract, so let us break them down into three simple, operative principles. First, the principle of the projection. You almost never meet your anima or animus directly at first. The psyche is clever, it prefers to see its inner world on an outer screen. So, it projects this powerful, energy-laden figure onto real people. This is the thunderbolt of love at first sight. It is the irrational, obsessive fascination with a particular person. You are not seeing them, you're seeing a reflection of your own soul. The problem, as we've discussed, is that no human being can bear the weight of a god or goddess projected upon them. They are flawed. They are human. And when the projection shatters, as it must, we are offered a profound opportunity to withdraw the projection and realize that the treasure we were seeking in them was, in fact, our own. Second, the principle of the ladder. The anima and animus are not static. They mature as we do. Jung outlined 4 stages of their development, a ladder of psychological ascent. For a man, the anima begins as Eve, the purely instinctual, biological, Earth Mother figure. She is seductive but also dangerous, capable of pulling him down into a swamp of unconsciousness. She then evolves into Helen of Troy, the aesthetic and romantic figure. She is the object of desire, the muse, but the relationship is still largely about possession and surface-level projection. Next, she becomes the Virgin Mary, elevating love to the plane of spiritual devotion and purity. She is a figure of virtue, capable of deep feeling, but still not a fully integrated partner. Finally, she ascends to Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom itself. She is no longer an object of desire or a distant ideal, but a true inner guide, a partner in the great work of life, connecting the man's conscious mind to the deepest wells of the collective unconscious. She is his bridge to the self. For a woman, the animus first appears as the man of mere physical power, a Tarzan or an athlete. A purely physical, often brutish, representation of masculinity. He then develops into the man of action or romance, a Byronic hero or a soldier. He has initiative and the capacity for planned action, but he is still a figure from a novel, not a true inner counterpart. The third stage is the animus as the professor or the clergyman, the bearer of the word. He manifests as unshakable opinions, often dogmatic and critical, appearing in her thoughts as a voice that says, "You should," or "People don't do that." He is logic, but a cold, impersonal logic. Finally, he becomes the spiritual guide, like Hermes, the messenger of the gods. He is the mediator of spiritual truth, the embodiment of conscious meaning. He no longer dictates opinion, but illuminates her own creative thought, connecting her mind to the great ideas of the ages. He is her bridge to the self. Seeing where you are on this ladder can be a profoundly illuminating, if humbling, experience. Third, and most importantly, the principle of the bridge. This is the ultimate purpose of this inner figure. The goal is not to find the perfect Sophia or Hermes in the outer world. The goal is to build a relationship with them within. When you engage with this inner figure, when you listen to them, argue with them, learn from them, you are doing the sacred work of psychology. You are creating a bridge between your small, personal ego and the vast, transpersonal self. The archetype of wholeness, the God image within. The Anima or Animus is the ferryman on the river that separates the conscious from the unconscious. To ignore the ferryman is to remain stranded on one bank, living only half a life. To befriend him, to pay his price, is to gain access to the infinite riches of the far shore. Narrator. Theory is the map. But a map is useless if you do not dare to venture into the territory. This work is not for the faint of heart. It is a descent into the underworld of your own being. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to encounter the parts of yourself you have long denied. If you are ready, here is your practical guide. We will call it the 4 Steps to a Sacred Marriage. This is how you begin the dialogue with your inner counterpart. Step 1. Identify the carrier of the projection. Your first task is to become a detective of your own fascinations. Take out a journal. I want you to write down the names of people, real or fictional, past or present, who evoke a powerful, irrational charge in you. This can be intense admiration, romantic obsession, creative inspiration, or even profound irritation and envy. The charge is the key. Beside each name, list the specific qualities that attract or repel you. Is it their unwavering confidence? Their wild, creative freedom? Their profound intellect? Their earthy sensuality? Their mysterious silence? Be brutally honest. Do not judge what you write. These qualities are not theirs. They are dispatches from the exiled part of your soul. They are the unconscious qualities of your anima or animus, waving to you from across the river, begging to be seen. This list is the first sketch of your inner counterpart's face. Step 2. Invite the dream messenger. The dream is the royal road to the unconscious. Your anima or animus is a constant character in the theater of your nightly dreams, appearing as a mysterious stranger, a helpful guide, a terrifying pursuer, a longed-for lover. You must learn to listen. Before you sleep, set a clear intention. Speak it aloud into the darkness of your room. Tonight, I wish to meet the part of me that I have neglected. I wish to understand my inner counterpart. I am open to the message. Keep a dream journal by your bed. When you wake, even in the middle of the night, write down everything you remember. Do not focus on the plot. Focus on the figure. Who was this man or woman? What was the feeling, the atmosphere, they created? What did they say? What did they want? What quality did they embody? Draw them if you can. Give them a name. You are not analyzing a dream, you are receiving a guest. Treat them with the respect due to a messenger from the gods. Step 3. The dialogue in the inner theater. This is the most potent and direct technique, developed by Jung himself. It is called active imagination. It is not meditation, it is not daydreaming. It is a conscious, focused dialogue with a figure from your unconscious. Find a quiet time and place where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes. Center yourself. Now, bring to mind the figure from your dream, or the personification of the qualities you listed in step 1. Visualize them clearly. See them in your mind's eye. Then, begin to speak to them. Ask a question. Who are you? Why are you here? What do you want from me? Then, you must silence your own ego. And listen. An answer will arise. It may come as a thought, an image, a feeling, a sentence that seems to have its own voice. Do not censor it. Do not argue with it, at first. Simply receive it. Write down the entire dialogue, as if you were a court stenographer recording the testimony of 2 separate people. Your side, and theirs. You may find this figure is angry at being neglected for so long. They may be wise, foolish, seductive, or cruel. They are a real part of you. This dialogue is the beginning of the integration. You are building the bridge, stone by stone. Step 4. Embody the counterpart. The final step is to take the energy of this inner figure and give it a home in your conscious life. Integration is not just a mental exercise, it is an act of embodiment. If your animus manifests as a cold, intellectual critic, you must consciously practice bringing warmth and feeling, eros, into your arguments and opinions. If your anima is a chaotic, overly emotional victim, you must consciously practice creating structure, discipline, and logical boundaries, logos, in your life. Better yet, give the archetype a creative voice. If your inner woman is a nature spirit, Take up gardening or spend time in the wild. If your inner man is a philosopher, dedicate time to studying the great texts. Write a poem from their perspective. Paint their portrait. Learn the instrument they would play. By giving this energy a conscious, creative outlet, you rob the projection of its power. You no longer need to find it in another person, because you are learning to dance with it within yourself. This is the beginning of the sacred marriage. The alchemical union of opposites that creates the philosopher's stone, the whole, integrated self. The scene shifts again. We are standing before a great, ancient stone tower, much like the one Jung built for himself at Bollingen. The sky is filled with a brilliant display of the aurora borealis. Narrator. Does this process work? Is it merely a beautiful, intricate fantasy? For proof, we need look no further than the life of the man who gave us this map. After his break with Freud, Carl Jung entered a period of profound crisis, what he called a confrontation with the unconscious. For years, he descended into his own psyche, a terrifying journey he meticulously documented in his secret masterpiece, The Red Book. During this time, he was visited by his own Anima. At first, she was a seductive, blind girl he named Salome, in partnership with a prophet figure named Elijah. These figures were autonomous. They spoke to him. They challenged his purely intellectual, masculine perspective. Salome, his Anima, argued that his thinking was art, not science. This was a devastating critique for a man of science, but it was the exact medicine his soul needed. Through years of dialogue and active imagination, he wrestled with these figures. He painted them. He sculpted them. He listened to them. This terrifying and painstaking process was not the result of his psychology, it was the raw, molten core from which his entire life's work was forged. He proved that to heal others, one must first have the courage to enter one's own madness, to befriend one's own demons, and to honor the ghostly counterpart within. The tower you see is a symbol of that work, a physical manifestation of a psyche made whole, stone by painful stone. This concept resonates through history and art. What is the artist's muse, if not a creative projection of the anima? Dante's Beatrice was not merely a woman he once saw, she was his anima in the form of Sophia, his guide through paradise, the very symbol of divine wisdom that connected him to God. The logic is irrefutable. A pattern that repeats is not a coincidence, it is a lesson that has not been learned. The recurring drama in your relationships is a symptom of an inner imbalance. The world is a mirror. If you are angry that others are not logical, it is because your own animus is underdeveloped. If you lament that your partners lack emotional depth, it is because your own anima is crying out for attention. To heal the outer relationship, you must first tend to the inner one. When you stop demanding that another person complete you, you can finally meet them as a whole person, and be met as one in return. This is the foundation not only of a healthy partnership, but of a truly sovereign and individuated life. We return to the initial Dali-esque desert scene. The sun has set, and the crimson sand is now bathed in the soft, ethereal light of a giant, luminous moon that hangs impossibly close in the sky. The spinning clock on the tree has melted, dripping slowly onto the sand. The silhouetted figure is now walking slowly toward the camera. Narrator. The journey inward is the longest journey. We have, tonight, only lit a single torch to illuminate the first few steps of the path. The mysterious man or woman in your dreams is not a stranger. They are the most intimate part of you. They are your guide, your tormentor, your lover, your adversary. They are your soul. Now, I ask you to contribute to our collective exploration. Go to the comments section and answer this question. The man or woman who appears most often in your dreams or fascinations, what one word best captures their essence? Is it judge? Is it lover? Trickster? Sage? Orphan? Warrior? Share the archetype, and let us see the pantheon of the collective soul. The figure is closer now. We can almost make out its features, but they remain tantalizingly obscure, shifting between masculine and feminine. If you feel called to continue this descent, to navigate the labyrinth of your own psyche with us, then join our expedition. Subscribe to Ego and Echo, and ring the bell of consciousness so you do not miss our next session. Your dialogue with the Anima or Animus is the great gateway. But what lies beyond that gate? The ultimate destination of this journey is the center of the labyrinth itself. To understand that, I invite you to prepare for our next session, the self, meeting the God within you. Until then, listen for the echo of your other half. They are waiting to be heard. The figure finally reaches the camera. For a fleeting second, it seems to have the viewer's own face, perfectly merged into a harmonious, androgynous whole. Then, the screen cuts to black. The sound of a single, soft, resonant bell toll fades into silence.